Turn it off.
All right, today we're heading to Marion County, Florida, January 2026. A motorcycle pursuit kicks off from a construction zone stop, and it's the kind of call where everything can swing fast. Add in the real-world reality of drugs, firearms, and felony exposure, and you start seeing why training matters right now. If you love exploring body cam footage just like me, then hit that subscribe button.
Crap. We got him. Yeah. Got dog bit too. Well, he took off, rammed one of our vehicles. So I was catching up, and then they canceled the pursuit. 2 seconds later, another deputy, hey, he's right here. He just wrecked, and now he ran in the house. So, no, he ran into his house.
Yeah.
He got dog bit, but nobody got hurt. Huh?
So his mom?
Yeah.
But why did he run?
He has a aggravated battery warrant, felony warrant. Yeah. Now he just picked up another charge for ramming the vehicle, aggravated battery, on a police officer. Well, hold on.
You know the difference. I should close it. I'm putting
Well, stop! I didn't know you were speeding. Why, dude? Please, I don't want to go to that. I didn't do nothing, man. I was not seeing it, Joe.
Turn it off.
Oh! Please stop! I don't want to pull over! Pull over!
And they're like ordering me. And the police left us at it is the same thing that you guys has one thing to see that. So when I came to the list of there were you for the chummy aside figures there take them out. Else. I saw that it. Said my sister said me that's not on that was my next to this thing. A deal. Times. I did that show see yes.
Bring us up, Marion. I just attempted a 1050 on a motorcycle. He's headed east towards the incident that just happened. He just tossed the gun on the side of the road.
He also ditched a bag on the road and I think the car run it over.
Just only 6 kilo, 6 kilo, 7.
Can you describe the motorcycle?
It's a black motorcycle, a guy in a black jacket. He did have gloves on. It looked like he was reaching for the gun to turn around and point it at me, but he ended up tossing it. I'm looking for it.
You just toss some other bag you. The pulling over right now.
10:33.
26. If it rode next to him, told him to cold river soap. It's going to be in line.
Put your dispenser back. I got this hand. I got cuffs. Kilo 6 inch inflow. 1 to 10. Back to you. Keep a little baggy. Just right before yourself. Oh,
I said, we're just going to die.
stop crying. Holy shit. You do this to yourself.
So, when this clip starts and you hear them talking about a pursuit getting canceled, and then 2 seconds later the guy is right there again, that is exactly what modern pursuit policy looks like in the real world. People think cancel means everyone magically stops and the danger ends. No, cancel often means reduce the pressure, air gets eyes on, units stop going code 3. But the suspect is still out there, and the next deputy might literally stumble onto him as he wrecks or bails. Now, tactically, what jumped off the screen for me is the moment the deputy believes the rider is reaching back like he might present a gun. That cue right there changes the whole force picture. In academy training, you get drilled on the action-reaction gap. If a suspect can access a firearm while moving, the officer is behind the curve because the suspect decides when the gun comes out. The officer is stuck reacting. So when you see a rider reaching around his waistband or jacket area, you do not assume innocence. You treat it as a potential deadly force threshold developing in real time. And here is where this Marion County case matters. This was January 2026. We already know from reporting after the fact that Terry Fischer ended up booked on fleeing and eluding, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and drug possession. That background is not just trivia. It explains why he's dumping evidence during the chase. You are watching a guy do on-scene case triage. He is trying to separate himself from the gun and narcotics before he gets caught. That behavior is a giant threat indicator for deputies. A person who is willing to toss a firearm on a public roadway is not thinking about anybody else's safety. This is also why pursuits with motorcycles are such a policy headache. A lot of agencies have tightened rules over the last decade. Bikes crash easier, they run red lights, they thread traffic, and the public risk can spike fast. Florida agencies vary, but the common theme is constant risk assessment. Speed, traffic, weather, construction zones, time of day, seriousness of the offense, all of it gets weighed. The public hears traffic stop and thinks it is minor. But in a construction zone, you have workers, cones, narrowed lanes, heavy equipment. The baseline hazard is already elevated. Then the moment a deputy believes there is a gun in play, the seriousness is no longer just traffic. Something else civilians miss is the communication loop happening. That deputy broadcasting description, direction of travel, what was thrown, that is not just chatter. That is building probable cause and officer safety at the same time. You are cueing other units to look for a black bike, black jacket, gloves. You are also creating a record that supports later recovery of the gun and drugs. In a courtroom, that matters. On the street, it matters even more because it tells every other deputy, this guy may be armed. When the suspect finally stops and immediately turns into pleading and crying, I want viewers to understand the psychology. This is common. People flip from high-risk defiance to sudden victim mode the second the fight is over. It does not mean they are harmless. It means their strategy changed. A minute ago it was escape. Now it is sympathy and negotiation. On the deputy side, the sharp language you hear is not polished. It is not PR. It is stress dump after a dangerous pursuit where a firearm was in play. Could it be more professional? Sure. But it is not automatically misconduct. The bigger training question is control. Hands, waistband, search, secure the scene, locate the tossed items, confirm no one else is involved. Because if that gun is still out there on the shoulder, some kid can find it later. My professional takeaway from what we just watched is the deputies are juggling competing priorities the way policy expects. They are trying to reduce chase risk when told to cancel. They are trying to keep eyes on a possibly armed felon. And they are trying to preserve evidence that confirms why this could not just be waved off as he was not speeding.
All right. Hey, hey. Stay right there. Stay right there. No, you're going to keep your helmet on for a second. And let... Well,
I'm here in third off-road and breaching gate.
Are you choking?
Fuck no. I did it, but you gotta bring me over on the other side so you see it, please. I'm not resisting this thing, I promise you. Yeah, please. So the red button, please. No, on the strap, please. Damn it. I can't breathe.
Just take a breath. Take a breath.
They weren't speeding or nothing, man.
Dude, just stop talking for a second.
Yeah, when there's for the stuff that was wrong there, for the baggies up. Oh, that's fucked up. I should put the baggies up.
What the fuck? I mean, a lot of things.
Alright, you still 10-12? Second.
Good board. 6376631. Can one of you go to Kilo where the bag was at?
I haven't pat them down yet. We do have gas leaking right here.
But I think that's what would
Hey, I'm gonna move you over this way. We got gas leaking. I'm gonna bring you over here. Smart. Go ahead and sit up for me.
He also ditched another bag west of the location, and between that and them, he threw a gun on the side of the road that I'm looking for.
Please, I don't want to. Not gonna do that. I'm gonna stick yourself in me.
West of the location and between that and them, he threw a gun on the side.
What do you mean?
Throw it. We'll have to look at down for article search. Frame.
26, and if we can get another unit to go a little further west to retrieve the bag that he threw off on the road.
You're on track 1.
Stupid, dude. I'm so stupid, man.
Marion Info 1.
6 it. Back in, please. Say back for plate.
64, man, just make sure those orchid units are over the 54 bed in the middle of the room.
It used to be 51 to the 186.
And now we're in the part of these incidents that the internet always edits down to 10 seconds. The guy is on the ground. He's pleading. He's asking for the helmet off. And if you don't understand what officers are trained to prioritize right here, you're going to think the deputies are being cruel when really they're being careful. Post-capture is where a lot of officers get hurt. Not in the chase, not in the flashy part. It's the minute after, when everyone's adrenaline is spiking and you still don't have answers. Is there a gun? Is there a second suspect? Did he ditch a needle? Is he about to fight? Is he about to bolt? That's why the first thing you hear is control language and tasking. One deputy is managing the person. Another is immediately thinking evidence and hazards. Gas leaking, the roadway, the bag. That is textbook scene management, even if it sounds messy. Let's talk about the helmet request because that's going to bother people. The suspect is saying he can't breathe. Officers hear that phrase constantly. Sometimes it's real distress. Sometimes it's a script people use to create a handling problem so they can move their hands. Training pushes you to treat it seriously without giving up control. That's why you hear the deputy tell him to take a breath and slow down. It's not a medical assessment. It's a compliance tool. You're trying to get the person to stop talking, stop twisting, stop escalating the moment. But there's another piece civilians don't factor. Removing a helmet is a two-hand operation, and it puts an officer's face and fingers right next to a suspect's head and shoulders. If you have not searched the waistband yet, and you're still working the possibility of a gun or a blade, you don't volunteer your hands into that space. You wait until you've got the body pinned, the hands controlled, and ideally another deputy providing cover. That's not punishment, that's priorities. Now, I will say this. Once the suspect is stable and you've got cuffs on and you've checked the airway, you do need to tighten up the professionalism. There's some irritated language in this audio. I get it. I've been around that stress dump. But on review boards, we separate normal human frustration from performance. The performance standard is clear. Clear commands. Minimal unnecessary chatter. Don't argue. Don't debate. The deputy who keeps it simple and keeps directing the suspect to breathe and stop talking is doing the right thing. What impressed me here is the parallel processing. While one deputy is still saying, "I haven't patted him down yet," another is already coordinating units to go back for the dumped property. That's not just about building a case, it's community safety. A firearm tossed on a shoulder is a public hazard until it's recovered. Same with bags of narcotics in a construction corridor where workers and drivers are walking around. This is where policing looks less like an arrest and more like incident command. Assign tasks, mark locations, control the scene, reduce hazards, and the gas leak call-out matters too. That's a real-world thing you don't get in most armchair critiques. You can't just leave a suspect sitting next to a leaking bike. You also can't have deputies kneeling in fuel while they're trying to search a potentially armed person. So you hear them reposition him. That's one of those small decisions that shows experience. It's not dramatic, but it's competent. Legally and procedurally, this whole ending sits in that Graham v. Connor lane. Reasonableness based on what they knew at the time. They've got flight. They've got discarded contraband. They've got an articulated report of a gun thrown. So the detention posture is going to be higher control. More hands-on, less negotiation. That's not a de-escalation failure. That's the reality that de-escalation has windows, and once someone chooses a high-risk path, the window narrows. Going forward, the lesson for agencies is not never chase bikes or always chase bikes. It's tighten decision points and tighten the post-stop routine. Clear roles. Someone is contact, someone is cover, someone is evidence recovery coordination, someone is medical. That structure reduces chaos, and it also reduces complaints because the audio becomes cleaner and the actions look more deliberate. My bottom line on this Marion County arrest: I see deputies handling a high-risk unknown with a strong bias toward safety and recovery of dangerous evidence. The suspect's emotions don't erase the decisions he made before the cuffs went on. If you want safer roads and fewer guns dumped in public spaces, this is what enforcement actually looks like. And if you disagree with a tactic, talk about it specifically. What would you change? When would you remove the helmet? When would you search? What risks are you accepting? That's the grown-up conversation this kind of footage deserves.